Hi there, Yannick speaking. We just had a support question regarding how to evaluate and use for SEO real Core Web Vitals measurement. And after replying to it, I thought this might be a good topic to talk about again. The question was equivalent to for SEO reports a bad Core Web Vitals score for many pages on my website, but common online speed test tools give me a perfect score. So what's going on? There's still a bit of confusion how Core Web Vitals are used by Google, how important they are, hint, not that much, and how to use the numbers provided. So here it is. So first, what are Core Web Vitals? A quick reminder, Core Web Vitals is Google's method for evaluating websites' performance. These measurements are used in ranking websites in search results, which is why they get a lot of attention. Speed has been used by Google for ranking pages for a very long time. But in 2021, they replaced their previous method with Core Web Vitals, which is a more realistic method, something that's better at evaluating what real users experience when visiting your website pages. Last year, I made a short video explaining the inner working of Core Web Vitals. I'll put the link to that video in the show notes. And so I won't dive so deep into the details of Core Web Vitals here. Please refer to that video to learn quickly what CLS, LCP, and FID are. We do love acronyms here. In short, Core Web Vitals attempt to represent the actual experience of visitors to a given page of your site with just three numbers. LCP, how long before the page loads. FID, it represents how much time before I can click on a button and it does something, it reacts to my click. And CLS is the how is the page content moving around when images or videos finish loading. So from Google's standpoint, a website either passes or fails the Core Web Vitals test. You pass the test if your Core Web Vital numbers are above a given value. And if you pass, you get a bonus over sites that don't. The major difference with previous methods, though, is that Core Web Vitals are measured by the visitor browser in real time when they visit your page. Googlebot, the Google robot that crawls your site, does not measure Core Web Vitals. So are Core Web Vitals an important SEO ranking factor? To put it bluntly, not that much. Google has stated repeatedly that performance is more like a tiebreaker, or maybe a bit more important than a tiebreaker, but not that much. If two pages are considered both an excellent fit to reply to somebody searching something in Google, then if one passes Core Web Vitals and the other doesn't, the fast page will likely perform better in search results. So it does matter, especially if you're in a very competitive field. But I can't stress enough that it's your content, links, and internal linking and external links and structured data and many other things that will be the major part of the ranking decision, not speed. Also, of course, it's only an advantage if your competitors are slow. Also, another important thing here is that Core Web Vitals are a kind of a pass or fail kind of thing. For instance, the pass value for LCP, the maximum authorized value, is 2.5 seconds. So if your site or a page on your site has an LCP score of 4 seconds, you fail. If your LCP score is 2.5 seconds, you pass. But if your LCP score is, say, 0.8 seconds, which is very, very good, it's very, very fast, bravo, then you pass too, but you don't pass any more than the site with 2.5 seconds LCP. There is no SEO benefit in having the fastest website of all websites. 0.8 seconds is the same as 2.5 seconds in terms of SEO. That said, having a fast site is good for your visitors. And I think it's one of these cases where your interest, your wishes, and Google's wishes are in perfect alignment. So, of course, go for it. Just keep in mind to be reasonable here. So what was the question again? Well, 4SEO measures Core Web Vitals for each page of your site and displays that score in your Joomla admin for each page. So the question was, 4SEO reports out of bound failing CLS. But if I go to pagespeed.web.dev or gtmetrix.com, these sites report perfect CLS, 0 or very low. So why is that, and what should I do? Which tool should I rely on? and what tool does Google use to determine my CLS, or is that unknown? It's a perfectly valid question. And so here is my response, a bit redacted. So the failing CLS on 4SEO or Google Search Console, as we will see later, and perfect scores at GTmetrix. The thing to understand here, and we mentioned that earlier, is that the number you measure is not important. When you measure CLS on your site, in your browser, it doesn't matter. That's not what Google is using for ranking. What they use for ranking is the CLS measured when actual visitors, view your website. So what tool are they using? Well, they are not actually using a tool. They are using Chrome, the web browser that you likely use. So if you use Chrome and you view a page at weebler.com, then Chrome will measure the performance you saw when you were visiting that page, and your browser is going to send that information back to Google. And so, for instance, if you try to load a weebler.com page while driving through a tunnel with a very slow mobile network, and maybe you're using your old phone, then Google will record very poor Core Web Vitals value because the page took like 10 seconds to load. By the way, please don't do that because you will be lowering our Core Web Vitals score. But the next day, you load the exact same page on your top of the line phone while connected to your super fast Wi-Fi, and the exact same page will get a very high Core Web Vitals score. The same page, two different scores, depending on how you view the page and what were the conditions at the time. So here are a few important things to know about Core Web Vitals again. The first thing is Core Web Vitals is not just one measurement. Measurements are taken over many visitors and aggregated over the last 28 days. The scores taken into account for ranking are updated daily using data measured over the previous 28 days. So if you take one single measurement on a test site, it's not a good representation of what Google will use. Second thing, Google and 4SEO as well use the measurement 75th percentile. That means that if you have a CLS of, say, 0.42, 75% of your site visitors saw a CLS of 0.42 or better. Again, just one single measurement on a test site does not represent that properly. Also, you should know that 4SEO uses the exact same code Google is using in Chrome to measure Core Web Vitals because their library is open source. But contrary to Google, we show you all the data we have. Even if there was only one measurement taken for one visitor, we show you that. Google will wait to have a large number of data points to start taking into account actual measured Core Web Vitals. It is unclear what they do when they don't have actual Core Web Vital data from real users. They say they can extrapolate from other pages, but how that's done is not known right now. An important concern, you can see the actual Core Web Vitals values Google use in your Google Search Console. That's really the only source of truth in terms of Core Web Vitals for SEO. All the other tools are debugging tools, trying to identify why your performance is good or not, but they're not actually measuring the Core Web Vitals as used by Google. They can't do that because they are not embedded in your website. They're not part of your website. You can use, and you should use, these tools to debug Core Web Vitals issues. And you can start actually with just your browser developer tools, which are very good for that. 4SEO is currently the only way you can have something close to reality for Core Web Vitals because it's embedded in your website and measures actual users viewing pages. here's a quick note just for SEO users. If you have only a few measurements for a page, the number of displays can be a little biased. If you have more measurements, that should even out things and make it more representative. So in closing, I just wanted to mention that particular user then went on to check their Core Web Vitals value in Google Search Console. And what they found is that in Google Search Console, Google reported about 650 pages with failing CLS out of 1,700 pages. While 4SEO was reporting about 400, and again, GTmetrix and PageSpeed were reporting perfect 0 CLS scores. So here it is. I hope that was useful. Please feel free to ask any question in the comment section of the blog post. You'll find the link in the show notes. Cheers, bye.